The world will no longer see another Bruce Lee again. Like, what are the odds to find a guy who can glide like a serene stream, unleash a beastly battle cry, and twirl those nunchucks like it was second nature? And also, with his wild kicks and warp speed moves, he went from being a TV sidekick to the hottest thing in blockbuster town in the blink of an eye. But here's where the narrative takes a devastating turn. Just as he stood on the brink of international A-list stardom, Bruce Lee's life was tragically cut short at the shockingly tender age of 32. The news of his untimely passing left martial arts enthusiasts and moviegoers worldwide in a state of both profound sorrow and bewilderment. Even today, decades after his passing, an aura of mystery continues to envelop Bruce Lee's death. It's a riddle that has perplexed us all for years. How could someone so physically impeccable, those latissimus dorsi, undeniably impressive, simply slip away in slumber? Well, my friends, hold on to your martial arts weapons, because we're diving deep into the enigma that shrouds Bruce Lee's untimely demise. It's a mystery that's persisted for decades, and we're about to peel back the layers and uncover the truth. So, put those bow staffs down, and let's journey into the legend of the dragon. Bruce Lee transitioned from a sidekick to a big boss. At the time, Bruce Lee was a true icon, born for the world of movies. His journey began in Hong Kong, where he started his acting career as a child, starring in approximately 20 films. As he returned to his birthplace, the United States, he embarked on a path that involved opening martial arts schools and sharing his expertise with stars like Steve McQueen. Lee even assumed the role of a masked vigilante, fighting crime in the television series The Green Hornet. Portraying Kato, Bruce Lee introduced the art of kung fu to the American mainstream audience. Although the Green Hornet series had a relatively short run of just 26 episodes and didn't catapult Lee to immediate stardom in Hollywood, he decided to pack his bags and return to Hong Kong, where he was met with an astonishing revelation. He had become a sensation, and the Green Hornet was so beloved in his homeland that it was often referred to as the Kato Show. Lee quickly secured leading roles in Hong Kong films, with The Big Boss becoming the highest-grossing movie in the country's history, followed by Fist of Fury, which broke its record. Lee's talents extended beyond acting, as he ventured into directing as well, showcasing his versatility on both sides of the camera in Way of the Dragon. With just 3 films under his belt, Bruce Lee became the king of Asian cinema, prompting Hollywood to finally recognize his potential. However, tragedy struck, and Lee's time in the spotlight was cut short far too soon. Enter the Dragon, Split with Bruce Lee. Bruce's ascension to stardom was undeniable when he began breaking box office records in Asia, catching the attention of Hollywood heavyweight Warner Brothers. This marked his grand entrance into the world of Hollywood, and the film that would solidify his legendary status was none other than Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon, Lee's inaugural English-language movie, served as the perfect showcase for his unique blend of philosophy, charisma, and martial arts prowess. The film's plot revolves around Lee's character, a Shaolin warrior tasked with embarking on a journey to an island fortress, participating in a martial arts tournament, and taking down a ruthless drug lord. Lee effortlessly juggled these challenges while imparting wisdom about the emotional content of kicks and the fact that boards don't hit back. His one-punch knockout power and remarkable nunchuck skills left audiences in awe. Backed by the stylish presence of Jim Kelly and accompanied by a groovy score from Lalo Schifrin, the genius behind the Mission Impossible theme, Bruce Lee crafted a kung fu masterpiece that continues to stand as one of the finest action movies ever made. Who could forget the iconic scenes where Lee confronts an entire army of adversaries in a dungeon, or engages in a thrilling battle against a knife-wielding foe in a hall of mirrors? When Enter the Dragon hit theaters in August 1973, it smashed box office records, raking in a staggering $20 million and claiming the top spot internationally. Bruce Lee had unquestionably arrived on the big stage, but tragically, his time in the limelight would be cut short. Bruce Lee's illness prior to his death. With his bulging biceps and awe-inspiring abs, Bruce could undoubtedly be described as a physical marvel. Whether he was engaged in the rhythmic cadence of skipping rope, the rigors of circuit training, or the intensity of isometric exercises, Lee remained ceaselessly dedicated to honing his superheroic physique. He appeared virtually unstoppable, possessing an astonishing blend of physical prowess and lightning speed. However, behind the veneer of invincibility, the legendary Little Dragon grappled with profound health challenges. On the fateful day of May 10, 1973, an exhausted Bruce Lee was engrossed in the post-production work of Enter the Dragon. He was diligently working on dubbing in a Hong Kong studio booth when, in a startling turn of events, he suddenly collapsed, convulsing and vomiting uncontrollably. Rushed to the hospital in the throes of this crisis, it would take him several days to regain the ability to speak. Following his initial recovery, Lee underwent a comprehensive medical examination, but perplexingly, the doctors were unable to determine the exact cause of the traumatic episode. What they did ascertain was that he had experienced a cerebral edema, an ailment characterized by the accumulation of fluid around the brain, leading to swelling. This incident was nothing short of shocking for the 32-year-old Lee, who had always projected an aura of invincibility on the silver screen. Regrettably, it foreshadowed ominous developments on the horizon. Before his death, Bruce Lee was having an affair. On the silver screen, Bruce Lee portrayed a solitary figure, eschewing romantic entanglements to devote himself to quests for revenge and the pursuit of justice. However, in the real world, Lee was a married man with a family. He crossed paths with his future wife, Linda Lee Cadwell, during their shared years at the University of Washington. Their connection deepened, leading to marriage, and soon enough, Lee took pride in being a father to 2 children, Shannon and Brandon. Nevertheless, the fact that Lee had a family did not necessarily make him the epitome of marital fidelity. Lee was known for his dalliances with other women, and in 1972 he encountered a 25-year-old actress named Betty Ting-pei, known for her roles in musicals like The Yellow Muffler, wuxia films like The 14 Amazons, and risque comedies like Apartment for Ladies. Their paths crossed at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Hong Kong, and their connection was immediate and intense. Apart from their personal interactions, Lee showered her with extravagant gifts, including a Mercedes, and even allegedly promised her a role in Enter the Dragon, a commitment he ultimately reneged on. Now, you might wonder what relevance all of this holds in the context of Bruce Lee's tragic demise. As it turns out, Betty Ting-pei would become the last person to have ever seen Bruce Lee alive. The Last Day on Earth of Bruce Lee. On a fateful summer day, July 20th, 1973, the world lost one of its most iconic martial arts and movie stars, Bruce Lee. He was just 32 years old when he departed from the realm of the living, leaving behind a legacy that would forever immortalize him in the annals of history. But how did he spend his last hours on this earth? The narrative of that final day is both intriguing and, ultimately, tragic. At the time, Lee was immersed in the production of his upcoming film, Game of Death. He had a pivotal meeting scheduled with George Lazenby, a well-known actor famed for his portrayal of James Bond. The purpose of their meeting was to discuss the possibility of Lazenby joining the cast. Lee, ever the visionary, was seeking to bring his unique martial arts expertise to the world of spy thrillers. Following his meeting with Lazenby, Lee's day took a leisurely turn. He decided to indulge in some recreational activities, partaking in hashish with a close friend. As the sun dipped below the horizon, he set off on a journey to the apartment of Betty Ting-pei. However, the purpose of this visit was far from business-related. It was during this time of shared ecstasy and bliss that the world outside seemed to fade away. As the night wore on, Lee's producer, Raymond Chow, unexpectedly arrived at the door, heralding a stark shift in the evening's trajectory. With enthusiasm unbridled, Lee found himself acting out scenes from his forthcoming film, Game of Death, with the same fervor that had endeared him to millions of fans worldwide. However, what followed would be a tragic denouement to this evening of passion and creativity. Lee's euphoria gave way to a sudden and ominous dizziness, accompanied by a throbbing headache. In her concern for her lover, Ting-pei offered him an aquazigic pill, a medication designed to alleviate pain and induce tranquility. Seeking respite from his discomfort, Lee retreated to Ting-pei's bedroom, leaving her to fret in the dimly lit living room. The hours passed, marked by the palpable tension that hung in the air. Then, as the clock continued its relentless march, Tingpei decided to check on Li. To her dismay, she found him unresponsive, a chilling stillness that echoed through the room. In her desperation and fear, Tingpei hastily reached out to Raymond Chow for assistance. Heeding her distress, a doctor and paramedics were summoned to the scene. However, their valiant efforts were in vain. Bruce Lee, the indomitable dragon of the silver screen, had passed away peacefully in his slumber, just 1 month shy of the release of his magnum opus, Enter the Dragon, which would catapult him to international stardom. What caused the death of Bruce Lee? The news of Bruce Lee's untimely passing reverberated around the globe, leaving a profound sense of shock and sorrow in its wake. But what was the elusive cause behind the enigmatic demise of the martial arts icon? The answer to this question unfolded through a series of medical investigations that would captivate and mystify the world. Following his passing, an autopsy was conducted at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, a procedure that would unearth startling revelations about the state of Lee's health. It was revealed that his brain had swelled to an astonishing 13% above its normal size. The official verdict declared that Lee had succumbed to congestions and edema of the brain, a chilling echo of the health scare that had previously hospitalized him in May 1973. The initial suspicion revolved around the presence of cannabis in Lee's system, with the edema being attributed to its effects. However, a pivotal turning point in the investigation emerged with the arrival of Donald Tier, a forensic expert who came highly recommended by Scotland Yard. Tier was renowned for conducting the autopsy of the legendary musician Jimi Hendrix, lending him unique insight into cases involving drug overdoses. Upon conducting his thorough examination, Tier arrived at a compelling and controversial conclusion. He posited that Bruce Lee had suffered a fatal allergic reaction to an equagesic pill administered to him by Betty Tingpei, intended to alleviate his persistent headache. This revelation, while seemingly straightforward, raised questions and stirred debates that would endure for decades. Betty Tingpei contested this narrative, asserting that she had previously administered equagesic pills to Lee without adverse consequences. Nonetheless, Tier's version of events equally gained widespread acceptance, recognized as the most plausible and medically sound explanation for Bruce Lee's tragic demise. Crazy Bruce Lee crime theories. In the aftermath of Bruce Lee's tragic passing, producer Raymond Chow made a fateful decision in an attempt to safeguard the martial arts legend's legacy. To preserve Lee's image, Chow's production company put forth a statement claiming that the actor had passed away peacefully at home in the presence of his wife, Linda. However, as the truth began to surface, the tabloid seized upon the real story, sparking a maelstrom of sensational speculation. The media circus that ensued would take on a life of its own, with fingers pointed squarely at Betty Tingpei as the potential culprit behind Lee's untimely demise. Wild accusations even ventured into the realm of poisoning. However, these were just the opening salvos in a barrage of conspiracy theories that would soon flood the public discourse. Among the most pervasive theories, one asserted that fellow martial artists, harboring resentment over Lee's willingness to share their closely guarded secrets with Western practitioners, had orchestrated his demise. Some attributed the deed to shadowy ninjas, while others spun tales of a mythical martial arts move known as dim mak, said to claim a victim's life with a single deadly strike. Further conjecture took a more organized, crime-oriented angle, with claims that Lee had fallen prey to an extortion racket orchestrated by the triads, or that the mafia had orchestrated his demise due to Lee's refusal to cede control of his career to them. For those inclined toward the mystical, whispers of a family curse took hold, casting a pall over Bruce and his son, Brandon Lee, who would also meet a tragic end. However, amid the cacophony of outlandish claims and fantastical scenarios, one chilling reality remained clear. Bruce Lee's fate was almost certainly sealed by a small, inconspicuous pill, marking the poignant end to the life of a martial arts legend. Chuck Norris, Kanye West, and conspiracy theories. Bruce Lee's death remains a puzzle wrapped in various theories. Some say it was epilepsy, others point to heat stroke, but the mystery doesn't end there. Chuck Norris, who worked alongside Bruce Lee in the 1972 film Way of the Dragon, shared his take during the 1975 appearance at the San Diego Comic-Con convention. Norris painted a picture where chronic back pain, stemming from a weightlifting accident, played a role. Then, he shifted the spotlight to a particular day at Betty Ting Pei's apartment in Hong Kong. On that fateful day, Lee was gripped by a severe headache. Seeking relief, he reached for antibiotics, hoping to ease the pain. However, Norris's narrative took a surprising twist. The medications intended to alleviate Lee's back pain and headache collided with his system. In Norris's version, these innocent drugs became inadvertent conspirators, leading to brain swelling and the formation of a dangerous aneurysm. But the web of intrigue surrounding Bruce Lee's death doesn't end there. Various theories, including the notion of a family curse and shadowy involvement of the Chinese mafia, have emerged over the years. Even rapper Kanye West ventured into this mysterious narrative during a podcast appearance in 2020, suggesting the possibility of foul play in the deaths of both Bruce and Brandon Lee. A heat stroke caused Bruce Lee's death? Over the years, countless conspiracy theories emerged, each trying to explain the mysterious circumstances surrounding his death. Some speculated murder, while others delved into the realm of the supernatural. But amidst the cacophony of conjecture, one theory stood out, not for its outlandishness, but for its scientific plausibility. In the summer of 2008, author Matthew Polly introduced a fresh perspective in his biography titled Bruce Lee, A Life. In this narrative, Polly presented a theory that diverged from the norm. He proposed that Bruce Lee didn't meet his end due to foul play or supernatural forces. Instead, Polly contended that it was a silent, unexpected adversary that claimed the martial arts icon's life. Heat stroke. To understand Polly's unconventional hypothesis, one must first step back to that fateful day in 1973. Bruce Lee, the charismatic star known for his electrifying performances in movies like The Way of the Dragon, was at Betty Ting Pei's apartment, seemingly safe and sound. But Polly, armed with meticulous research, unveiled an intriguing twist to the story. Polly revealed that Bruce Lee had undergone a peculiar procedure, the removal of his sweat glands from his armpits. This seemingly odd choice was driven by a practical concern: Lee's desire to appear dry and composed during intense, physically demanding movie scenes. The removal of his sweat glands meant he wouldn't be drenched in perspiration when the cameras rolled, preserving his on-screen charisma. However, fate had a cruel twist in store. July 20th, 1973 dawned as the hottest day of that sweltering summer. The scorching heat bore down relentlessly, turning the streets of Hong Kong into an oven. It was on this day that Bruce Lee's unique physiological alteration would prove fateful. Without the ability to sweat from his armpits, Lee's body was rendered defenseless against the relentless heat. Unable to cool itself through the natural process of perspiration, his body succumbed to the merciless grip of heat stroke. It was a quiet, insidious killer that stealthily crept into the apartment, snuffing out the life of the martial arts legend. To some, this theory may appear far-fetched, even unconventional. Yet, in the world of conspiracy theories and supernatural explanations, Matthew Polly's hypothesis offered a sobering, rational perspective. It was a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary adversaries can deliver the most unexpected blows. The death of Bruce Lee had a major effect on his last movie. Game of Death had the potential to become the greatest martial arts film ever created. It starred the legendary Bruce Lee in his iconic jumpsuit, and the movie's concept was thrilling. It would follow Bruce Lee's character as he ascended a pagoda, battling various martial arts experts at each level while searching for valuable treasure. To defeat these adversaries, Lee would have to demonstrate different principles of Jeet Kune Do, his philosophy emphasizing flexibility and adaptability in combat. Tragically, Bruce Lee passed away after filming only 40 minutes of footage for the movie. To complete the film, a Bruce Lee double was hired to stand in for the main character. This double often wore a fake beard and a motorcycle helmet to conceal his face. In one scene, when the double had to look into a mirror, the filmmakers attached a cardboard cutout of Bruce Lee's face to serve as a reflection. Additionally, the movie frequently incorporated scenes stolen from other Bruce Lee films. The film's plot underwent a complete transformation, with the hero now playing a movie star whose girlfriend is kidnapped by the mob. One of the most disheartening moments occurs when the movie uses actual footage from Bruce Lee's funeral, even displaying the actor's lifeless body. To make matters worse, The theatrical version of Game of Death only includes 11 minutes of Lee's original footage. Fortunately, the 40 minutes of footage that Bruce Lee shot still exists. Nevertheless, the film did provide us with the iconic image of Bruce Lee exchanging blows with NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A wave of Bruceploitation was started by his death. In the wake of Bruce Lee's untimely death, Hong Kong filmmakers saw an opportunity and launched a genre known as Bruceploitation. Their aim was to capitalize on Bruce Lee's enduring fame, so they recruited actors who bore a vague resemblance to the martial arts legend. These actors were given off-brand names like Bruce Lee and Dragon Lee, and cast in knockoff movies that often lacked taste. One such film, I Love You, Bruce Lee, took a sleazy approach, depicting a soft-core drama that explored Lee's relationship with Betty Ting-pei, with Ting-pei portraying herself. Another bizarre Bruceploitation production was The Clones of Bruce Lee, where an evil scientist forces 3 Bruce Lee clones to fight to the death. Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger ventured into a different narrative, suggesting that the real Bruce Lee was a reluctant drug mule for the triads and had been murdered. Now, a successor named Bruce Lee seeks revenge against the gangsters. However, the most peculiar Bruceploitation film was The Dragon Lives Again. In this film, the deceased Bruce Lee wakes up in the afterlife and engages in battles with iconic pop culture characters like James Bond and the priest from The Exorcist. The Godfather and Popeye also make appearances. Dracula arrives with a gang of mummies, and even a character impersonating Clint Eastwood gets in on the action, kicking a fake Bruce Lee in the face. While this film can be seen as disrespectful to Bruce Lee's memory, it does offer a unique and somewhat surreal viewing experience. How the death of Bruce Lee affected his wife and daughter. Bruce Lee's monumental legacy lives on through the efforts of his wife, Linda Lee Cadwell, and their daughter, Shannon Lee. Linda, in 1975, authored a book about her husband to share his story and teachings. In 2002, Linda and Shannon co-founded the Bruce Lee Foundation, an organization dedicated to preserving Lee's legacy and promoting his philosophies and teachings. Under Shannon's leadership, the foundation supports education through scholarships, offers martial arts programs for children, and hosts a Bruce Lee summer camp. Shannon Lee had also taken charge of Bruce Lee Enterprises, the marketing arm of the Lee family business. She's been actively involved in media projects to protect and celebrate her father's memory. This includes a 50-episode TV show about Bruce Lee, a History Channel documentary, and the Cinemax series Warrior, based on Bruce Lee's writings. While the Lee family is dedicated to preserving Bruce Lee's memory and promoting Jeet Kune Do teachings and larger-than-life persona, it's important to note that they may overlook some of his flaws. For instance, Linda Lee Cadwell defended her husband in a letter to the Los Angeles Times in 1998, disputing claims of an affair with Betty Ting-pei, despite Bruce Lee's death occurring in Ting-pei's bed. Nevertheless, Linda and Shannon Lee remain committed to ensuring that Bruce Lee's legacy endures for generations to come. How the death of Bruce Lee affected his son. Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, initially resisted following in his father's footsteps, particularly in martial arts. Bruce Lee passed away when Brandon was just 8 years old, and this loss deeply affected him. For a significant period, Brandon avoided martial arts entirely and struggled with feelings of anger. He faced challenges in his academic life, having been expelled from 2 high schools and ultimately dropping out of a 3rd. Brandon experienced immense pressure to live up to his father's legacy, which he found overwhelming. He felt that he had not been given a choice in the matter and initially resisted the idea of pursuing a career in martial arts and acting. However, he eventually discovered a passion for acting, and with his foundation in martial arts training, he ventured into the world of entertainment. Brandon's journey into acting began with roles in projects like the TV movie Kung Fu the Movie, followed by the Hong Kong film Legacy of Rage in 1986. In 1991, he starred alongside Dolph Lundgren in his first American movie, Showtown in Little Tokyo. Although The Crow was poised to be the film that catapulted him to fame, tragedy struck as Brandon Lee died on set, just on the verge of achieving stardom, paralleling his father's untimely passing. In conclusion, the sad truth behind Bruce Lee's tragic death continues to be a subject of speculation, debate, and mystery. His passing at the young age of 32, just as he was achieving global fame and recognition, remains a source of deep sorrow for fans around the world. While the official cause of death was listed as a cerebral edema due to an allergic reaction to a pain medication, there have been enduring conspiracy theories and questions surrounding the circumstances. Some have suggested foul play or undiagnosed medical conditions, adding to the enigma of his untimely demise. Regardless of the exact cause, Bruce Lee's death serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictable nature of tragedy. His legacy, as both a martial artist and an actor, endures as a symbol of inspiration and innovation in the worlds of cinema and martial arts. As time goes on, the sad truth behind Bruce Lee's death continues to be a subject of fascination and intrigue, a testament to the enduring impact of a man who left us too soon. His memory lives on in his timeless contributions to martial arts and film, serving as a reminder of his indomitable spirit and dedication to his craft.